My name is Juanita Caldwell, founder of Neat Fit. Fitness is important to me because we have one body that we are given, one life to live, and we have to make sure that we're taking care of that body we're given. Fitness is the most important thing in a long, healthy lifestyle. We can dream of our biggest dreams and want to accomplish everything in the world, but if our bodies aren't able to get us to those points, then the level of where we want to take our lives to, without your body, you don't have anything. So for me, fitness is kind of the first thing that I think of when I think of a long and a healthy lifestyle. All right, y'all, for today we have 3 super effective moves. They're super simple, super basic moves that anyone at any fitness level can do. They're very, very effective. You can take them up a notch or down a notch depending on the modification that you need. All right, y'all, let's get to it. So for the first move today is a squat, a basic squat. We're gonna run through why squats are so effective for us, what they do, what they work on, and what areas they target. So a squat is gonna target your lower body. So you're talking from your hip, from your butt, to your quads, to your hamstrings, all the way through. And the modifications that I like to use will even target your calves as well too. When you are squatting, and I'll show both positions from the front view and also from a side view. When you're squatting, you want to make sure first and foremost that your feet are directly under your shoulders. So there are certain modifications you can do to have your feet out wider, have your feet in smaller, but for the basic squat to begin, your feet are directly under your shoulders. So if you just take your arms from your shoulders, drop them straight down, your hips and your legs should be right aligned right under. Once your feet are set, you want to make sure that you're putting the bulk of your weight on your heels. So when you're squatting, it is super important to make sure that we're, number one, preventing ourselves from injury. So we want to avoid going onto our toes at all costs. So we want to act as if you're on your heels solely, and I can take my hand and place them under the front of my toes. So now that my legs and feet are in the right position, the next step we want to do, we want to take our hips and our butt, we're going to push it back, and you want to imagine it as if you're sitting in an imaginary chair. So a lot of common mistakes that we see when people squat, they lean forward, they're on their toes, and their chest is forward. We want to make sure we're keeping that same position, our legs are set, the weight is in the back of my heels, I'm going to drop my butt back, and then just sit down as if I'm going into an imaginary chair. All right? So my chest is up high, I'm not hovering over, I still have a nice flat back. And when you come up to the top, you want to make sure you're squeezing your glutes at the top so you're getting that full engagement in that booty area, all right? Whether it's a squat jump or a simple squat, we want to make sure we're never losing that focus in our form. So as I squat, I'm going to come up, and you can get faster as you get more used to it, and as you keep going, I still have that same form. I'm not rocking into my toes, I'm not falling forward, I'm going to find that form for me, and then keep going. Your arms can be out, to your side, overhead, whatever makes you happy with that, all right? And to add a level up, one of my favorite things to do whenever we're doing any kind of movement is add anything up to make it a little more advanced, add some type of jump or a pop into it. So now if I want to add anything into it, I can jump. Go into a squat jump. Now you're not only doing lower body, you're adding extra to it, now we're getting a cardio move in it too. As we're doing a jump squat, it's involving cardio, your heart rate will start to go up a lot higher, and now you're also working that as well. So same thing, I'm gonna find my level, my weight is in my heels, come up, and then drop back down, all right? So one of the first exercises, guys, that was a squat, okay? Next exercise we're gonna go into is a push-up. A lot of times as a trainer, I see push-ups done so many different ways, and a lot of common misconceptions that we see is the push-up and your arms are coming out this way, all right? So, when you get down into a push-up, the most important thing, whether it's your first time doing a push-up or your 100th time doing a push-up, to make sure that your form is correct, all right? What we don't want to see are your fingertips in this way and you coming out that way, all right? What we don't want to see. There's different variations of push-ups, and as you progress and get stronger throughout, of course you can add in different versions to them. But to begin, our hands are going to drop directly under our shoulders, all right? My hands are not wide outside of my shoulders. They're not in too close inside of my chest. I'm going to find my shoulder line, and my hands drop directly under my shoulders. Once my hands drop, I step my legs out into a high plank position, all right? To give you the side view, my hands directly under my shoulders, step my feet out into a high plank position, and my feet are also hip width apart. They're not too close, they're not too wide, all right? So the first foundation of a push-up is just finding that right form. Once you find that right form and you're all set, then we can go into engaging your core, engaging your upper body, all right? So now once I'm in this position, the most important part of a push-up is to keep your core tight as you're going down. So you don't want your back to hump in like this, and you don't want it to round out like that. You want to find that nice tight position with your core, and then you're going to have your arms. You're going to go down, and then when you come up, all right? Notice when I came down, my arms stayed close to my body. They didn't flare out. I'm not using momentum from my hips to push up. You want a strict, nice and straight push-up, okay? And now if you can't do one off your knees, perfectly fine. A lot of misconceptions we see, you'll drop down like that, and they'll go like this, all right? I hate to break it to you, but you're not doing anything, okay? So what we want to do is step our legs out, give our bodies a nice slant. So you see how my body went from this, from here to here? This makes all the difference, all right? So now that we're in this position, now we're still fully engaging my core. My core is still engaged, all right? Yes, this is an easier step, but you're still engaging your core. You're still getting that work. So now that I'm here, same thing, I'll drop down, keep my arms close to my body and push up, all right? Now, a very important thing when you're pushing up is your breathing. In everything we do in working out, you have to focus on your breathing, all right? If you do not focus on your breathing, I've seen people lift and work out and hold their breath during exercises. You will get lightheaded, and it is not good and not fun for anybody, all right? So when I do a push-up, I'm inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down, all right? So I'm in my proper position. Arms are under my shoulders. My feet are hip width apart. I'm going to inhale on my way down. All right? And with push-ups, no matter which level you're at, make sure you're focusing on that breath, focusing on engaging your core, and that is a great arm workout. That's a great core workout as well, too. So you're hitting all of those areas in one exercise, okay? Next, we have a plank. A plank is a super, super important exercise. Not only does it strengthen your core, it also helps to work on your back muscles as well, too, okay? When we're doing planks, we see them done in plenty of different variations, whether they're up in push-up position on your hands, down on your forearms. Today we're gonna work on the one on our hands push-up position, okay? So similar setup as a push-up, same exact thing. But now while we're in this position, we're gonna hold. So it is very important that when we're holding in this position, we focus on breathing. So you remember how I found this position? My arms are directly under my shoulders, and my feet directly hip width apart, all right? Now that we're here, you wanna make sure that your shoulders are not rounded over this way, that you find that flat back, okay? The goal is that you should be able to set a glass of water on your back, all right? If I'm like this, the water's gonna fall right on my head, and if I'm like this, it's not going anywhere, all right? It's gonna roll right into the bottom. Once you find that nice flat back position, you can hold from there, all right? So when you're doing this, you wanna make sure that you find that balance. And if you need to drop to your knees, same thing as a push-up. Drop to your knees, walk your hands out a little bit so you still have that slant, and then you feel your core working, all right? You wanna avoid the tabletop position, okay? Wanna avoid tabletop, wanna walk your hands out, so you have more of a challenge, okay? Now in a plank, you can also take it a step up a notch and drop onto your forearms. When you drop down to your forearms, you're engaging your core just that much more, all right? So, two positions, up in your hands, or down in your forearms. Now, if you're beginning, I just suggest you start from up in your hands, and then a slight bend for your knees, all right? Once you are advanced, you can have your knees up, and then drop down. And this is even an exercise in itself. Military planks, up and down, all right? So there are so many exercises that we can do that incorporate every muscle of your body. These exercises that I just showed you hit upper body, core, lower body, and back muscles, all right? These exercises are super, super, super effective in its simplest form, and as we get stronger, as you are able to incorporate more into them, you can add a level into every exercise. All right, guys? Those are exercises for today. Thank you so much.